Hello everyone. I hope you are well and welcome to this new edition of GM Web3. Like every Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday morning, I'll be joining you for 2 hours of live coverage to talk blockchain, crypto, NFT, and current affairs with my columnists and guests. Today, I am with Maxime, CEO and founder of Cyborg. Hello, Maxime. How are you?
GM. Well, everything is fine on my side, and you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. Um, I am also with Joaquim, co-founder of Gopa Labs and a huge contributor of Multiversix. How are you, Joaquim?
Good morning, GM. Good morning, everyone. I'm doing very well. Excited to be here today.
Okay, very happy to have you too. So we also have Arno, business developer manager at Soul and Atom Protocol. Hello, Arno. How are you, brother?
Hello, Jerem. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. Very happy to be among you this morning.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while. It's a pleasure to have you with me this morning. And we are also with Philip, founder of CryptoBay and also huge contributor of Multiversix ecosystem. Hello, Philip. What's up?
Good morning, everybody. I'm fine. It's nice to see so many people. It's great today. And looking forward for this 2 hours of discussion with a lot of things on the table today.
Okay. So this morning I noticed something. We are more columnists than listeners. Okay. So guys, put a like, put a comment, repost the Twitter Space link so more people can join. And we already received our guest of today, Danilo Cerullo from theMiracle, for an interview at like 10:30 CET or 8:30 UTC. Hello, Danilo. What's up?
Hello, everyone. GM. Thank you for the invite, Maxime. I'm super happy to be here today.
Likewise, brother. So yeah, as I was saying, we will start by the Web3 news. But of course you can, raise your hand if you want to comment or tell your opinion about what we will discuss about. And, in 30 minutes, ish, we will have a very interesting interview, all together, about, you, your background, about theMiracle and your vision about the NFT and crypto ecosystem. Sounds very, very good. So yeah, I remind you all that you can find the replay on this, GM Web3 and all the previous ones, on podcast platforms like, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. So you just need to, write GM Web3 on the top search, and yeah, feel free to subscribe and to like and to note the emission, the show. 5 stars is the right note, in my opinion. And of course you can also find it on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe to and to like the video, and also on Cyborg app if you are already using it. Last but not least, let's go for the program for today. So first we'll speak about the last Web3 news, and there are a lot these days. After we'll have the interview of Danilo from theMiracle, whom is already here with us this morning. And at the end of the space, stay with us until the end. Joaquim, my dear friend Joaquim, will tell us everything about Ton blockchain. What is it? How to use? Why is it working so well this last weeks? So yeah, that's the program of today. So did you repost enough? We're 12 on the space and we only have 6 reposts. So please guys, repost to bring more people before we start. Yeah, 7. Okay. Thank you, guys. We will start by the news. So I made a short list of the last news, but of course, if you think about anything else that can be relevant, feel free to interact with us. You can write on the comment section if you want to say something, but also you can raise your hand, ask for the mic, and you can directly come to the space to speak and to talk with us. So first, about, of course, the US election. So we all know that Joe Biden decided to
Withdraw.
Step down. It was what we was looking for. And yeah, we learned recently that Biden was forced to drop out of the US presidential race under duress from a Democratic Party, which threatened him to impeach him with the 25th Amendment. So yeah, that's like a TV show. I don't know you, but I'm following this stuff like every hour on Twitter. It's really amazing. Do you have an opinion about the consequences about the election? The last poll states that Kamala Harris, so the candidate that is supported by Joe Biden, not already invested by the Democratic Party, but it's quite sure that she will be. She is above. She's in front of Trump to be elected, but it's the beginning, of course. But what can be the consequences? Because if we got interest into her support of strict regulation during his career, it can be a challenge for the crypto industry. But she has a big interest in technological innovation, so it can also create opportunities for the crypto industry in the United States. So I don't know if you follow things. What do you think, Joaquim?
So as you say, it's its own TV show. We don't need any more fake entertainment. We have the real deal, which is more than enough. I'm actually fortunate enough right now to be surrounded by some people who live in the US, and so it is, I don't want to say a daily discussion, but nearly. And it is quite, it was expected, right? Joe Biden hasn't been in a state to, well, I want to say barely run the country. And so they knew that the Democrats would lose the elections, definitely, if Joe Biden stayed. So it was expected. The big question was if it would be Kamala or not. And what has surprised a lot of people is that Barack Obama has been extremely vocal about supporting Joe Biden, but hasn't, as far as I know, still not today, shown support to Kamala after Joe Biden said that he was putting her forward for the role.
Yeah, Clinton decided to support her, but yeah, Obama is still waiting before giving him his support. But we need also to say that Michelle Obama was also like a possibility for the Democratic Party to replace Joe Biden. So imagine if Michelle Obama decides to show up. Of course, it would be difficult for Barack Obama to support her competitor. Yeah, Philippe?
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. One thing that I would like to add, in fact, it's in the Democrat Party, like in a Republican, you should have internal election to elect who will be the candidate. I think it's the first time or
There will
time. Exactly. I mean, for the moment, Kamala Harris is the one that have been
supported, we can say.
Supported by Biden and currently who is at the White House whatsoever. but there will be election internally, and currently I'm not sure. I have not heard anything about competitors or a second bloc of Democrats that would like to push for someone else. Even me, myself, at the moment, I don't see anyone in the Democrat Party. Maybe Michelle Obama. That could be honestly something interesting, but I'm not sure they will make them fight before. So maybe Kamala Harris will take this election, and maybe Michelle Obama will come later in 4 years or whatsoever. But at the moment, we have to wait for the election. Is there already a date or something like that?
Yes, normally the conference should happen, should occur on August, mid-August, I think. But it's not impossible that the Democratic Party anticipate this rendezvous, not to wait too long without a proper candidate. But yeah, for the moment the date is I don't know exactly, but it's mid-August. Yes, Arno?
Yeah, on my end, I'm more interested in discovering what both candidates, once they are, elected by their parties, will do to try and get out the states and the U.S. economy out of this the pitfall that they are in now since COVID. When you see the accrued interest that their debt is increasing and piling year after year, it's absolutely crazy. You've seen some numbers coming out the last days. I mean, we're talking about currently more than $1 trillion of accrued interest to be paid every year. It's I've seen the numbers. It's 75% of all income taxes in the state to cover just the interest for the debt. So, I mean, between the US being in this situation and China in a very, very complicated situation, we don't have the same media coverage. But what's happening in China with the banking system collapse because they were backing a lot of their investments in real estate, and you see those banks falling one by one, and not just one by one, but actually 10 by 10. You have those two global economies that are collapsing, and it's very worrying. So I'm looking forward to discover what's, if it's most likely going to be Trump for Republicans, but on Democrats, who is it going to be, and see what's their strategy, what's their proposal to get the US economy a bit more back on track. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It will be one of the topic of the election, but I'm not sure it will be the major one. And that's the problem, in my opinion, because the Democratic Party will more insist on the anti-Trump strategy because he's a bad guy, he's the evil, and so on. And in front of him, they will most probably introduce women, black women, and that will be, I think, the thing of the election. So yeah, I agree. I think the main topic will not be really important in the election, and that's a very bad thing in my opinion. But we'll see. Yeah, Joaquim?
Yeah, talking about the main key points, strategy key points in the elections, I think it's something we've seen already in France during the legislative and in the UK during the general election, is that because of the way that we're in a democratic system and that everyone has their say, which is a great system, I'm not discussing that part, but it, as you say, it works a lot on people's emotion. And when you see Trump's rally, Trump's speech, you see that there's a lot of emotion, fear, ridicule about the opposition, etc. There's a lot of emotions rather than actual facts that are being shared, like as Arno was explaining, and I see you pinned it, the US debt skyrocketing, because those things feel abstract to a lot of electors. And what they see is the cost of living crisis, as we call it in the UK, being the increase of price, the inflation, wages that aren't increasing. And they want to find a cause to it and how we can solve it. And some programs will say that like we need better social services, etc. And some will say that it would be solved with less immigration, etc. So we're not really talking about those big, I won't say like numbers that impact a whole country and their relationships with the rest of the world, but rather what impacts day-to-day life for people and trying to communicate what their solutions would be towards that, because that gains more traction and more votes, therefore.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that the issues of security, immigration, and geopolitical situation in Ukraine, in Israel, in China will be important. And in this respect, the democratic record is very, very bad. So yeah, we'll see what it will be about. About the crypto consequences, we know that Donald Trump had very, very bullish and very positive announcements this last weeks about the crypto ecosystem, the crypto industry, and so on. So we'll see what will be the position of the Democratic Party about this. We read on Twitter, so it needs, of course, to be confirmed that Kamala Harris is trying to attend Bitcoin conference too. But it's not confirmed. So yeah, we'll see if it's right. For example, we announced on former GM Web3 that Donald Trump was thinking about Larry Fink, so the CEO of BlackRock, to be his next treasurer. I don't know how to say in English, but yeah, maybe treasury minister, or I don't know exactly what's the name, but whatever. And, actually it's not right. Someone said that, it's the fake news. So yeah, you guys and we all need to be very careful about the information that we find on Twitter about this, because it's, very, very likely to be fake news. Also, about we saw that Elon Musk decided to change his profile picture with the laser eyes, and he removed it yesterday. So same, people were saying that Elon Musk could attend Bitcoin conference, would say or support a crypto ecosystem too, but actually he removed it just 2 or 3 days after. So like this, be careful about what you read to be sure that the information are correct and confirmed. Yeah, Joaquim?
I'm just going to be very, very quick, because we were talking about the impact on crypto by the candidates. As we say, we don't know yet the Democrats' final position again, because we don't know who's going to represent them. But on Donald Trump, while I would love him to be a crypto maxi like us, we have to remember that during past when he was in office in the past, he has said that like for him, he didn't want anything that could compete with the US dollar. The US dollar should be remain the strongest currency in the world, talking about Bitcoin as a potential threat. And then saw the opportunity to make some money by creating an NFT collection, which I'm not sure what is happening with it today, but hasn't been ever mentioned since, but raised several millions. And then suddenly it becomes like this, I don't want to say crypto maxi, but like very positive to our crypto. And we have sometimes to remember that what is said during pre-elections and what is actually gets implemented post-election might be night and day on those things, because I don't think it's going to be a very high priority for the US government, no matter who gets into office.
Yeah, definitely. Same about the announcement we read on Twitter that Donald Trump could use Bitcoin as reserve in the United States. Actually, it's not something that is confirmed, and of course we need to be very careful about the information that we read and we broadcast here. Yeah, Arno, quickly before we speak about ETF Ethereum.
Yes, I read from Théo Mogenet, who's a French guy talking about Bitcoin. And most likely you read his article about the speculative attack too. He was advocating for France to dig and see if it could be implemented. And so basically what he's saying is that France, and it's exactly the same situation in the US, France's debt is exploding. The accrued interest is exploding year on year. And so what Théo Mogenet is saying is that once you get into this situation, and you can't hedge yourself by buying another currency, because then the currency that you're buying, you can be, manipulated by the other country. And so then to hedge yourself and get out of your debt situation, you would need another reserve of value that is not held or dominated by another country. And so he's suggesting that Bitcoin could be the perfect value reserve to make a speculative attack against euro. And basically you hedge yourself by buying Bitcoin, and since by doing this, Bitcoin's value is going to increase, and then you could hedge yourself and get out of your debt because you could repay your debt through your Bitcoin holdings. And so when I hear Donald Trump saying that, what you explained, that the US Treasury might diversify its reserves through Bitcoin, when you know that the US Treasury Secretary over the last, I think, 20, 30 years, we've always had them tied with big banks. And so the Larry Fink news might be fake, but it wouldn't be, a surprise, because in the past you had US Treasury Secretary being former JP Morgan CEOs, Morgan Stanley, etc., etc. So we know that the US economy is tied to their big banks, and their big banks are very different than ours. They are very speculative and very aggressive, and they're not afraid to take risks. Sometimes it fails massively, and that's why we had 2008 crisis, but they know how to make money. And so I wouldn't be surprised that maybe a bit more discreetly, the US, under the council and the influence of those massive banks and funds like BlackRock, whom we know have a lot of Bitcoin, could be hedging themselves, because their debt situation is really terrible, and they're putting the world economy at risk. So they need to find solutions to get out of this, and this speculative attack through Bitcoin could be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. And the nomination of his co-lister Gigi Vance, who is a very well-known pro-Bitcoin guy, is also an interesting fact, and this is confirmed. By the way, about the hedging of Bitcoin as a value reserve, we see more and more companies buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin for their treasury to protect themselves from inflation and a potential future monetary and financial crisis. So yeah, it can be interesting for country to do so. Yeah, let's speak about the spot ETFs, which made a spectacular debut with trading volumes surpassing $1 billion on the first day. It was launched yesterday, and they quickly garnered investor interest exceeding initial expectations. So, Sam, what do you think about this? Do you think it will have consequences about the price? Because we see that the market is dumping since, but because certainly the market has already priced the news and is selling it right now, like it always do. So, yeah, do you have maybe something to say about this, Maxime?
Yeah, on this part, I think it's quite interesting. So, we always say buy the rumor and sell the news. So maybe, maybe it's what's happening a little bit, but I mean, it's not that the case. What we can see, is that yesterday, so on the first day, we had $106 million of positive inflow on those ETF, which is quite good. The only thing we can say is about Grayscale, where people withdraw a little bit. I think it was kind of the same case with Grayscale, with the GBTC, and with what they had with Ethereum, meaning that at some point the trust with Ethereum created by Grayscale had a discount, and so it was more interesting at some point to buy Ethereum via their trust. And for those who don't know, a trust is it's not an ETF, it's just an investment vehicle that is used to do let's say similar things as ETF, to make it very simple. So people were able to invest via Grayscale before the ETF with this investment vehicle. But it had some issues. Same with the GBTC before Grayscale switched it to Bitcoin ETF. So we see exactly the same here. So people withdraw a little bit from this from the conversion of the Grayscale fund. So basically that's what I can say, and I think on the long term it's really positive because more people will come and it will bring more inflow into the Ethereum ecosystem.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. Last news, two last news that we will speak very quickly, guys, please. First of all, it could be the end of Bitcoin miner capitulation. If this situation occurs when operating costs exceed revenues, forcing miners to sell their Bitcoin holdings. So normally this phase could be ending at the moment, so it can be very interesting for a Bitcoin price recovery because the constant selling pressure will stop, or at least will decrease. So yeah, I think it can be interesting for the upcoming weeks and months. And last news is about the fact that England also holds Bitcoin. So we saw that Germany has sold 50,000 Bitcoin I think it was last week or maybe two weeks ago. We learned that the UK government also has I think it's 20,000 or 50,000, almost the same amount of Bitcoin. And same, if they decide to sell it, it will create a huge selling pressure on Bitcoin. And if they decide to hold it, it can be interesting for the market, affecting prices and the perception of cryptocurrency as reserve assets. So we will, of course, stay tuned about this because this is a large amount of Bitcoin that could be sold on the exchange in the upcoming weeks and months. Okay, thank you guys for this Web3 news review. We will now start the interview of the day with Danilo from theMiracle. Danilo, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks a lot for having me. And I'm excited to to talk with you about everything, theMiracle and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting to have you this morning. First of all, because this is what we like to do on GM Web3, can you, for those who don't know you yet, introduce yourself and more precisely who you are, how old are you, where you were born, where you study, what kind of background do you have before entering Web3 ecosystem?
Yes, absolutely. So, as already mentioned, my name is Danilo Cerullo. I was born and raised in Switzerland, so not so far from Paris, from you
Do
guys.
you speak French?
A little bit. You have to learn it at school, but I have to say I lost a lot of my French,
Okay.
but still understand quite
Do you
well.
want to say a
So,
word for the French people here or in the replay?
oui, bonjour à tous. Je suis très content de parler ici avec vous. Tous theMiracle. Et je m'excuse, mon français c'est pas le mieux.
It's perfect. Thank you very much. I'm sure French people will appreciate. I'll let you continue about your background and your
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, so I have my background in banking, surprise, Switzerland. So I was doing, when I was like 15, an apprenticeship at Credit Suisse. So I started in banking, worked like 6 years in banking, did different things from private banking to institutional clients to internet banking, and then I quite was fascinated by everything what was happening online. That was in 2006, so between 2006 to 2012, and decided after that also to study economics. So I was studying in Bern, where also I'm living now, economics, and at the same time starting my career at Swisscom. So Swisscom is the biggest Swiss tech company. And there I started like in app support first, and then did many different things while I was studying. And when I finished studying, I changed my position and started in banking consulting. So we were consulting banks about banking softwares and stuff like that. Then transformed into application management. So we were running applications from banks. And that was like kind of also my first touch point with crypto back then, because Swisscom was doing the application management from this first crypto bank called Signum. And that was like in 2017, 2018. And that was the initial, like as I said, the initial touch point with crypto. Started as a user, as a gambler, to be honest. Got into Ripple. I think a lot of people can can relate to that. And then just went down the rabbit hole. Decided even to do a certificate in advanced studies in blockchain tech, and then from this moment on, I knew, okay, I want to build something by myself, and quit my corporate journey last year in the beginning of the year, before I went all in building theMiracle.
Yeah, okay. Can we focus about your experience at Le Crédit Suisse, which is one of the biggest bank in Switzerland, and even in the world. You spent 5 years there. Can you maybe share some insight about the vision of cryptocurrency at Le Crédit Suisse? It was a few years ago now, but is there any discussion about this? But it was between 2009 and 2012, so maybe it was a bit early.
It was very early. So back then, no one was talking about crypto at Credit Suisse.
Okay.
And also I can't remember that I heard about Bitcoin back then, to be honest. But I think the whole discussion definitely was starting in the following years when I was not anymore part of the whole ecosystem. Now we know in Switzerland that a lot of banks are supporting crypto. As I said, when I was working at Swisscom, we helped some regional banks even to set up their internet banking to be compatible with buying and selling crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But back then, when I was working at Credit Suisse, it wasn't a topic.
Okay, and at Swisscom, was there any discussion about cryptocurrency, and what was the opinion of the people, your colleagues, your managers, or maybe the direction of the company?
Yeah, they even had a department all around blockchain, so it wasn't just like on a transactional level, but more on a yeah, I would say on a software backend level, where they have built even a own chain, as far as I can remember, where we had some regional companies who were joining, and for example, the Post, like the also one of the biggest public companies in Switzerland. And we were very pro crypto. As I said, we supported the first crypto bank. My manager was also supporting me to study part-time to do my certificate in blockchain tech. So I learned a lot during that time, and it was definitely a huge motivator for me to get started and do my own business.
Okay, let's go back to you. So, can you maybe explain how you discovered cryptocurrency, and how exactly you decided to enter, maybe as an investor, maybe as a, I don't know, to learn about the ecosystem, or maybe to investing in the crypto NFTs or different digital assets?
Yeah, there was, as I mentioned, like in the beginning of 2017. Even to the end of 2016, I remember I was at the library studying for some exams, and then a friend of mine showed up, and he showed me CoinMarketCap, and I was looking at it with him, and I remember there was Ripple XRP with like 0.0000, I don't know how many zeros. So I went back home. Back then I was living with another friend who was also studying. And he told me, hey, you have to help me to set up an account. And back then it wasn't that easy to get started as it is now. And somehow I forgot about it because, as I said, I was doing my exams. It was like the final exams for getting my bachelor in economics. And yeah, it like 6 months passed between then and when I first bought crypto. It was XRP. Just was very curious about it. Knew about Bitcoin back then. Was reading a lot. Was listening a lot. I'm a huge fan of content on YouTube. I remember watching hours of video content from people, but somehow back then my only thinking was, okay, if for an example, XRP has like 2 or 3 zeros and it goes up like 100x, I make X amount of money, because I was a student and I wasn't interested in buying Bitcoin, or even saw Ethereum, with like 15-20 bucks. And for me back then it was like, oh, the price is already too high, huge mistake back then. But that was my mindset when I was a student. And of course, like my first rodeo, the first bull run, it went up, incredibly up, but was greedy, didn't sell. It went all back down. And still, I was able to exit a bit and made some profits. And then I didn't do much on my personal side. I was just continuing working, building, and also doing projects at Swisscom. And as I mentioned, the more we were building also stuff for banks, for crypto banks, or applications to support crypto, I was getting more and more excited, learn more about digital ownership and why it is important before finally did my certificate and also learned more about NFTs. That was in 2021.
Okay, thank you very much. And how did you leave the different bear market and bull run phases? I mean, in a personal way, how did you live it? Did you always know that cryptocurrency will succeed one day, or maybe sometimes you gave up? So how did you live these different market phases?
I have to say that the first time, like 17, like 18, when it was crashing in the beginning of 18, I was really at the point I was saying like, okay, it was fun, you know, I made some profit, but I could have made like much, much more. So I was a bit frustrated, forgot about it, got back in end of 2020 and was able also to make some profits during 2021. But still as a user, or I would say like as a hobby trader, as a bad one, and used after the next phase of the market, like the previous bear market, to start building. So the first two ones I would say as a user, and then transform into a builder, and never left since then.
Okay, and what about NFT? And it will be a perfect transition to speak about the genesis of theMiracle. What's your journey on the NFT market? Were you a big buyer, a trader, or just just checking the charts and the collections?
It was actually funny back in 2021. I remember it was in the beginning of the year. I was discovering VV collectibles. Maybe someone heard about it. Not so popular anymore, but back then they were having like the biggest IPs on their platform, with later on like Marvel and Disney. And I was fascinated back then by all the IPs they had. So we were analyzing their business model and their marketplace for my thesis, what I was writing back then, that certificate I was doing. So it wasn't through apes or punks or any of the other, I would say, very well-known NFT collections where I've had my first interactions with. It was through a platform who was supporting the biggest brands, the biggest IP and culture and entertainment. And then I was just starting there collecting, you know, I was starting to collect IP, start to collect comics. They had like the first Marvel comics, and I still own like the very first Marvel comic on chain. And it was crazy. I remember
You bought it on VV, or it was
I bought, I bought it
yes?
on VV.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Yeah, VV. Okay. Yeah, I remember
yes.
this platform.
Exactly. I was collecting comics, and
I still
I
have
was
a
on.
Spider-Man. I still have
Oh
a,
yeah,
yeah, I bought a Spider-Man. It was at the very beginning of the platform. I bought it for a few hundreds of dollars, and I still have it. I don't know exactly how much it worth, but I remember that the price really increased a lot at the
it was
moment. Yeah,
crazy.
but I did not sell at this moment, so now I still have this Spider-Man. I don't know what it is worth now, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, for me it was the same. So back then I remember that was like when it got crazy, it was between like spring and summer in 2021, where they could drop a comic 2-3 times per week with 20 to 50K editions, and it was sold out immediately. So you had to get to be very lucky to get one. And it was exciting, you know, you were waiting in front of your phone, then the timer was going down like 10, 9, 8, 7, 0, and then you had to click like buy now, and when you were lucky you had like immediately a 20 or 30 or 50x even. And we often talk about how narratives are created, and definitely like the excitement, something is scarce, can increase very, very quickly in value, was definitely a reason back then why also a lot of friends who were not in crypto started using Vivi and start to collect NFTs. And since then, a lot of my friends went through Vivi and then discovered the rest of the space and stayed.
Okay. Yeah, Joachim, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is extremely interesting because I already knew about NFTs and had a few before I discovered VV2. But as you said, like there was a massive excitement due to the IPs that they were partnering with. Um, and but I have a feeling, and I might be wrong, but and I would love your thoughts about it, is that like this kind of market of selling IPs in the form of digital collectibles kind of faded out because more recently we've had Disney and Pixar that launched Pinnacle, which are some like 3D, like the designs actually pretty good. I would even say the app is better than what Vivi used to offer. I haven't checked Vivi in forever. Um, and the expectations aren't the same, the hype isn't the same, things take longer to sell out, etc. And I have a feeling that it's maybe because the IPs got too diluted. Like, as you say, Vivi had Disney, Marvel, etc. And now Disney is using their own IP to sell also digital collectibles in the form of NFTs. So how do you think this market has evolved?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about dilution, that it diluted, because I remember in the beginning there were just like once or twice certain drops, and then was a time when they dropped like every day a certain collection, also with too many editions. And I think when we talk about the value in terms of dollars, it was of course bad. I still believe that like first editions, like first Batman or first Spider-Man or the first comics, at some point they will be very valuable, because we will have the proof on chain when it was minted, when it was created, who is the owner, how many pieces exist. And the more we dive into that whole digital ecosystem, collectibles of that kind will be also very valuable. That's what I believe. And on the other hand, I think collectibles in general will be just also seen as toys, like when we buy something in a store, in a supermarket. And that was also how the CEO of Vivi explained it back then. I remember you have to have also very like cheap entry point, and it can't be always like for $100, $200 or $500. It should be also like for $5 or $10 to get more people in. So there are pros and cons on both sides. But I didn't follow the whole Vivi ecosystem much, or what Disney was doing like in the past 12 months. I know that they're still releasing new collectibles, but they're not selling out. And the problem is when you don't sell out, then on the secondary market, the price drops below retail. And this is something I remember was even a problem when I was still collecting, and there were like too many collectibles on the market.
Thank you, Danilo.
Well, I just saw that I bought my Spider-Man on Vivi for $40 in 2021, and now the floor price is $27.5. So I'm not very, very bullish about this. Thank you. Uh, just
Same.
it's okay. I will keep it and I will offer it to my nephew. He's just a big fan of
Just
Spider-Man.
Yeah, just like a last story about it. I collected the first Mickey Mouse, like the partner statue, the one you see when you go to Disneyland. And within like 1 or 2 months, the floor price was going to almost 60K. 60K, 4,300 editions of it. It was crazy. and I didn't sell. And now I think the floor price, I didn't check the floor price, but I think right now it's like at 2,000 or something like that.
Okay, that's the problem with NFT. I never sell at the good moment, so I always waste money. But I keep accumulating NFTs. I don't know why. Okay, so let's maybe speak about the genesis of the Miracle. So why? What inspired you to co-found the Miracle? What was the issue that you wanted to address?
Yeah, so when we talk about the motivation or the why behind it, as I said, I was very, very fascinated by the feeling personally when I collected something on chain, when I collected NFTs, how I perceived it, to have ownership and how you are immediately connected to other people who are collecting the same thing, to the brand, and that was a huge motivator, and got me also thinking what else you can do with NFTs, because at the end of the day, it is proof, of ownership, and you can connect that proof of ownership to any digital object. And I believe that this is going to transform how we exchange value with each other, how we build community, how we build brands, how we build connections. And I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to build, and at the same time realized that there is a huge problem with how you can stay up to date with everything what is happening in the space, but especially with what you can actually do with your NFT. So there are a lot of airdrops happening, there are a lot of mints happening, and a lot of things are connected to the NFT you own, but you have to be active on Twitter, you have to be active on Discord. There are certain things which are distributed on platforms, then it's right now even fragmented across different chains. So you lose track of what you can claim, how you can claim it, and where you can claim it. And this is the problem we are solving with the Miracle. We help NFT holders to discover what, how, when, and where they can claim or access certain things through their ownership.
Okay, that's interesting. And indeed, we are on Web3 for years now, and there is so many different collections, and we don't have the time to check every Discord, every Twitter account. So yeah, it can be very practical. Yeah, Maxime, before I continue.
Yeah, I have a quick question, but first of all, I'm a user of the Miracle, and I think it's great. My question is about how do you do to aggregate all those perks and benefits?
So it's a mix. It's a mix of a tool we have built where we aggregate, as I said, data which is publicly available through Discord, through Twitter, through websites, but also data where we have access to through partnerships. And all that data goes into a pot. And then in that pot, an AI tool what we have built during the last 12 months is analyzing, okay, first of all, is it a benefit? It creates like a rating between 1 to 10. And then if it's a benefit, it checks what category it can be linked to. Is it merchandise? Is it ticketing? Is it an airdrop? Is it a giveaway? Is it a discount or whatever? It extracts the unnecessary stuff, which is not interesting, and just puts really the important information in the spotlight. For example, if it's a discount, how much percent, where you can claim it, for how long, and this after at the end of the process is getting approved by us and then uploaded and linked to the collection. And when the user is having his wallet added to the Miracle, he after sees it when he can claim certain things.
Okay, how many of you are in the Miracle team, and what's the business model of the company? Who pays for what?
So we are currently 8 people at theMiracle, and we started the platform and launched it end of February. So we did certain experiments last year. So many people are not aware. Last year, theMiracle was an NFT marketplace which was showing the utility from the NFTs. But through testing, through getting feedback in very fast, we discovered that it doesn't make sense and it doesn't solve a problem to sell NFTs, but help holders track things and access things. And since then, the platform was for free, but we are now starting to push our business model on the B2B side, I would say, during Q3. So we aggregate, analyze, organize, and create a lot of important data. And that data we want to push to apps, to wallets, to third parties, but even to projects who can after use that data and also create engagement. There we will have just regular API plans, which start like from a basic model to an enterprise model. And later on, I can also imagine that as a user, depending on how much you want to track through theMiracle, how many wallets you have added, if you want to use certain premium features like notifications or calendar or other stuff, that you will have again a free version and the premium version.
Okay. And how many daily active users do you have, and how are you increasing your user base?
So right now we talk about in total 3,000 users on a daily basis. As we are still very early, we have like between 30 and 40 people who are actively using the platform. On a monthly basis, it is roughly 300 people, and that was growing very organically. So we didn't push much on the marketing front as we are currently fundraising. And we have many different ideas how to grow the user base, and also a very concrete plan. You will learn more about it in the upcoming weeks and months. There will be like a special activation about unique benefits which you will be able to claim through theMiracle, and on the other hand to distribute the data we as I said, we aggregate and create on different third parties. So let's say you are using a certain app or a certain wallet, you will be able next to your NFTs to see what you can currently claim or access. And if you want to have the full overview about all of your benefits or NFTs, it will drive you back to theMiracle. And yeah, so it will be a combination of different marketing activities, of partnerships, and vertical integrations, especially also on the gaming front. We are in talks with a lot of gaming companies. We already aggregate a lot of gaming rewards on our platform, and there the goal is really to create certain network effects. Then, like when you are a certain user of a certain game, and you can see all your rewards you currently have, it will show you also other rewards and other things from other games who could be interesting for you through theMiracle.
Yeah, Maxime?
Yeah, you mentioned organic traffic and user growth. My question is about how did you do to have this organic growth, and what's the strategy here, and what's the future strategy regarding how will you do to attract those users?
Yeah, so what we did and what we are still doing is we talk daily to our users. So I'm trying, and the whole team, to get feedback in at every possible event or opportunity, even if it is to travel by train from one city to another, to show someone theMiracle, to solve a problem for them, because they're missing out on important things, and they're missing out on thousands of dollars because they can't track what they can access through the NFT. So a lot of it is happening through one-on-one meetings. I'm hopping on calls almost on a daily basis. And then when we have those people and they see why they should use theMiracle, a lot was also happening by word to mouth. So they are going to tell their friends that, hey, there is a platform where I can finally add my wallets. I don't have to sign anything. That's also a huge plus point. And then from there on, I can track everything what is available. And yeah, just like getting feedback in, listening to the users, and also pushing enhancements based on their feedback, which is very important to show them that we are listening to them, and at the end of the day, we are building it for them. You know, they need to see and get some value back through the Miracle. And yeah, so this is how we did that on a very organic level, without a token, without an NFT collection, without any like incentives. And it's hard. It's really hard. It is most probably the hardest way, but it is also, I would say, very, very honest way, because you directly see and figure out who is a potential user and why they're using it or why they're not using it, and not because they're on the platform to farm something or just to get an airdrop or whatever from your platform or protocol and then leave again. You know, it's a problem we see a lot in Web3. So I can only highly recommend this for any other early stage startup who has, for example, limited funds, who is in the process of fundraising, that you just talk daily to your users, get feedback in, iterate, and just repeat that process.
Yeah, I think you're quite right on this. You also mentioned tokens and earlier fundraising. Are you fundraising in equity, or do you have also a plan to have a token?
We are currently fundraising through equity. Is a classical safe round with a token warrant. So in case a token is getting interesting in future, we will reward our early believers and investors. But right now there are no concrete plans. I was at Token 2049 back in April. I was talking to a lot of VCs, and they told me, okay, if you're going to launch a token this year and under these conditions, then it gets interesting. And we basically said no. And it was hard to say no. I'm not going to lie, because you could get fast some liquidity. But I'm a strong believer that we want to build something not only for the next year or for the next 2 years, but for the next 5 or 10 years. And if you're launching a token under pressure, under conditions only in favor for VCs, you're most likely going to destroy your company. And that's not the goal. That's not why we started building the Miracle.
Yeah, kudos to you for that.
How do you choose which collection to track? Since there are so many collections and so much scam, and is there a community feature so that users can suggest or ban a collection? And how are users encouraged to interact with the platform?
Great question. So when we started the Miracle, that was like one of the crucial discussions we had, how we're going to select collections which are relevant, which are not scams. And we were first just onboarding the most relevant ones who were in the space for a longer time, the big brands, IPs, but also ones we got recommended by community members. But it was first like very curated, and now the process is that projects are getting in touch with us because they see the value we create for them, because they don't even have the overview about what they offer for their community, especially from third parties. So in the beginning curated, now still curated, but a lot is happening through people who are reaching out to us, who want to get the Miracle on the platform. And talking about the community, as I said, we definitely listen to our community. When someone has a recommendation, we look at it, we get in touch with the project. As I said, we are in a lot of chat groups and phone calls almost on a daily basis. And in future, I would say like in August, there will be also a form on the platform where you can start the process as a project and get your collection on theMiracle. And something what I'm super excited about in future and where we can create value for the community and for the holders is to also find a way how we can display community-created benefits and experiences linked to a certain collection.
Okay, and what about the community incentives, the community building? How are they encouraged to interact with the platform? I mean, you don't have a token yet, so now how do you work with it?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think on the user front, it is a lot of figuring out if the product is solving a personal problem of yours, and the feedback was very clear, like what is good and what can be improved. Like on a personal tracking level, there need to be certain things which need to be improved to make it better, and also to drive the user again and again on the platform. And on the project level, what we discovered is the projects, they lack of certain information what the community can access, like the process there is very insufficient also when it comes to certain collaborations. So we kind of curate that data of the benefits and experiences linked to the collection and make it accessible through our platform, and also very soon through third parties or through projects through our APIs.
Okay. Thank you for this. You were at ETH conference. I believe you were even a speaker. What did you take away from this event?
Yeah, it was an amazing event. I was even on stage with Maxime. Was in the beginning of the week. We had a great panel about loyalty and community building, where we were talking on stage with Archers from Air Baltic, with Lucas from POAP, and Ethan from Borderless Ventures. So it was really cool to see that at the end of the day, a lot of the big brands, as I mentioned, Air Baltic, are exploring new ways of how to create meaningful connections and new ways to build loyalty, to own loyalty through NFTs. So there are also other brands like Hugo Boss who are incorporating NFTs in their existing loyalty program. So a lot of things are happening right now in the space, and for me, it was super interesting to see, not only like on an infrastructure level, but also on a product level, who is building cool stuff. Had the opportunity to host a fireside chat with Luca. It was very spontaneous, but very, very interesting, and curious to see what they will push, with Abstract to push the whole consumer crypto narrative forward.
Maxime?
Yeah. Just to bounce back on what we were saying, yeah, definitely bullish on what will happen. For those who don't know, Lucas is the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, and Abstract is the layer 2 that they bought and rebranded. Previous name was Frame, if I'm correct. But my question was about a specific thing that is kind of tricky regarding theMiracle, and I'm quite curious to know how do you manage this particularly, and it's about scam. So basically, I have a little penguin, and I know that many penguin holder had some issues. For example, at some point, they say, "Oh, I'm eligible for a certain airdrop," and once they connect their wallet, they get drained and they lost their NFTs. Or at theMiracle, do you manage to avoid to give any perks or any benefits, and while ensuring that it's not a scam?
Yeah, excellent question. So right now, the the list of available benefits and experiences which are linked to, for example, Apache Penguins collection. It is first and foremost what the project is also publishing on their Twitter or on their Discord to have already, I would say, that proof of the team. And in a second step, as I said, before we push anything on our platform, we double check it. This is still something we do manually. And third and last, whenever you jump off from theMiracle, there will be a disclaimer to always like double check, to not just blindly connect anything to a third party or to another platform. But we really do our best to highly curate what is available for the community. And in future, we will definitely include also the community to rate certain things and most likely also to work with partners, to create a more secure environment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Danilo, for this discussion. It was very interesting. Maybe before we close this interview, maybe you want to tell us about the next steps for theMiracle.
Yeah. Thank you again for having me here, and really love always to have the opportunity to talk about theMiracle. So the next steps are just continuing to talk daily to our users to push certain enhancements on the platform. We will have a huge update in August. We know that, for example, the home right now, when you get on theMiracle, it has to be improved. Our message, why you should use theMiracle, how we solve a problem for you, how you can use it, will be more personalized. So the profile, which is now a little bit hidden, where you can track everything regarding your wallet, will be integrated into home. So let's say you connect your wallet or you add your wallets, you will see immediately what are, for example, the next 5 things which are going to expire or what you have access to. So the platform will become more personal. And the other big priority is to start giving access to platforms, to third parties, to projects, to our API, so they can integrate the benefits from the NFTs. And beyond that, as I mentioned, we have a really, really cool benefit campaign, which is going to start within the next months, where we are going to create a unique benefit which will be available through theMiracle. And yeah, would love to onboard the people here on the panel, on the space. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about it, just drop me a DM. Also happy to hop on a call to onboard you. And if you have a project with an NFT collection who wants to get onboarded on theMiracle, just the same, just hit me up with a message, and we can check how we can get your product on the platform.
Thank you very much, Danilo. Again, it was very, very interesting. So keep it up, and good luck for theMiracle.
Thank you, guys. And I wish I could stay now for the tone part, because I really think that the whole Telegram stuff, what is happening right now, is a great way of getting new users. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy the last 15 minutes or the last or how long is it going to be?
we never know.
Longer.
We don't know. It's going to depend on me. So it can be anything from 5 minutes to 2.5 hours. No, I'm kidding, but yeah.
Awesome. But I just quickly gave you a follow, because we are also having some plans on that front, maybe to create a mini app. So it's always good to know people who are building in regards to Ton.
Just last but not just last question we haven't talked about is about the cross-chain ambition and strategy for you. So do you plan to integrate or new blockchain, and how do you choose them? Maybe regarding the NFT volume.
Yeah, well, excellent question. I forgot to mention that we are able to to show you as a holder what you can claim and access not only on Ethereum, but also on Base, Blast, Polygon. We support Ordinals and Solana. So we are already multi-chain. And if there are like new chains who want to be included on theMiracle with cool projects, they can get in touch with us. We also applied for multiple grants during the last week. So I'm sure there will be more chains and more projects supported on theMiracle very, very soon.
Okay, sounds very good. Thank you very much again, and yeah, you can stay with us, of course, for this last part of the Twitter space. So, Joaquim, you wanted to tell us about Ton blockchain. We spoke about this blockchain many times on GM Web3, but actually we never deep dived in it, and I'm sure most people knows about Ton, but maybe have not tried it again already. Sorry. So yeah, I give you the mic.
Thank you very much. So as you said, the open network, which is the real name for it, shortens for Ton for both the token and how we call the network, has made a lot of noise recently. But the reason behind it goes actually back a few months. So at the start of this year, for some of you recall, and maybe you still have the app installed on your phone waiting for that infamous airdrop that is never coming, was Saku Monster. Saku Monster was a little tap to earn that was only available on iOS when it launched, and a few months later also on Android, where you had to tap on an egg or tap on a monster to earn some coins. There was a leaderboard, etc. This was one, I wouldn't say it's the first, probably there might have been some mini apps on Telegram that were running before, but that was the one that caught the most and made the most noise. It was then shortly followed by other apps, both as, again, directly on the devices in forms of apps like we had on Series X with the Shroom Companion by World of Shrooms, but also by other apps that decided to use the Telegram mini app format, such as Hot, for those who remember, Notcoin. And so we saw different blockchains creating those small games, which we decided to call tap to earns, where you, well, as the name calls it, you just have to tap to earn some points. And it's kind of the traditional cookie clicker with numbers go up. The more you click, the more you earn. It was kind of neutral when it came to blockchains, as we had quite a few that were launching it. But with time, we realized that the blockchain that is building closest to Telegram and in partnership with Telegram, I don't have the exact details on how close they actually are. Some people are saying that it's the same entity. Some people say it's not. So I'm not gonna give any information that might be wrong. But they decided to really push the initiative of the mini apps on Telegram. And the reason behind it, and behind its success, comparing to, for example, Saku Monster, which had a lot of users, but still doesn't compare to what we're seeing now with, apps like Hamster Combat or the Elon Musk one. I need to refine the name of, that one, which had now, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users, is the fact that downloading an app creates friction. Again, Saku Monster was only available on iOS to start with. I think part of the reason was to protect against multi-accounting, because on Android it's quite easy to create copies or emulate, while on iOS it is a bit more tricky without a developer license. So this, when it launched on Telegram, there it's another thing. As you probably know, creating a Telegram account is pretty easy. We get spammed by DMs daily of fake accounts, but it allows to reach a massive user base without having to install any additional software on your phone, which, especially for Web3 users, is something we prefer to do, because downloading APK files or apps is always a security risk, no matter if it has been approved by both the App Store and the Play Store. So this was a massive step. And so we saw a lot of tap to earns. One of the very interesting parts of this is the airdrop part. So a lot of those games, apps, whatever we call it, promoted airdrops, but very often in how to say it, in a not discreet manner, but like I forgot the word, but like they weren't very clear on how much could be won, what the leaderboards were about, etc., in a way to attract users without actually telling them like you'll be able to make hundreds, or actually you might just be able to make only a few dollars or a few cents. But what it did generate was hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of users from countries in development that went from one app to the other and trying to optimize them. And as we've seen in the past with play to earn games, there are a lot of farms where like people have hundreds, if not thousands, of devices all doing the same thing to earn the maximum. So this is kind of the backstory of the tap to earn, which brought the TON network to the spotlight. So what is the open network? The open network is a blockchain that runs, focuses mostly on Telegram and uses the benefits of Telegram, which is already massive, has a massive user base and many features like payments, etc. Is a bit similar to what we were all hoping that Twitter or X now would move to blockchain solutions, which it hasn't as of now at least. But using the benefits and the vision of the founder to open up Telegram to all kinds, if it's DeFi, gaming, shopping. And the TON Foundation has pushed a lot towards that with many grants, hackathons, etc., towards developers to build such tools on Telegram. To give a bit of a technical background to the mini apps, they actually run in a pretty straightforward way. You can just host a website, any website, or as a mini app. You just need the URL and have certain formattings, and then you can pass information from Telegram directly to that website if it's been coded correctly. Like, for example, you want to know the user ID of the Telegram user, you can get that directly, which is one of the big benefits, again, with using an existing app like Telegram, is the account abstraction. It is much more easier to onboard a user if he doesn't have to create a wallet each time he downloads an app, etc. And that's what we've seen because Telegram now has its, I'm going to quote this, official wallet, which allows you to interact with any mini apps on the TON blockchain. So I think they're bet on expanding through giving grants and incentivizing builders to create fun mini apps or useful mini apps on Telegram has brought them to the spotlight today. And I think that's what we are seeing. And in addition to that, a lot of the tap to earns I've talked until now were things that had no existing project. They just launched it as a mini app to get users and then maybe like expand if they see that the format is successful. I don't know if you've seen a lot of those like ads for like shitty games on YouTube, etc. And you wonder, why does the game, the video of the game lie to you compared to the format of the game? Well, one of the reasons is actually, and that's pretty interesting, the videos you see aren't really to attract you to the game, but they are to study what kind of games they should develop next. So they'll create like proof of concept videos and they show them as ads, and they will look at which ones you clicked on to download their already existing app. And then based on that, they will create new features or new games that respond to that new need. And I think a lot of those tap to earns are doing similar by like they're probably releasing several, see which ones stick, and build on top of that. But what we're also seeing slowly is existing projects, and I'm going to take the example of Kuroro Beasts, which is a game that used to be, I think, on Ethereum or Polygon and has now moved to Arbitrum, which is a battle format with like creatures that battle each other, and they have a exploration mode, etc. that is coming later. But they've already had quite a successful play to airdrop campaign with, I think, like over 10,000 daily users. But they decided to take one step further for user acquisition by creating a mini app on Telegram, which is a very basic tap to earn called Kuroro Ranch, where you take care then of a little Kuroro beast. And I want to believe you will get that NFT at the end, but you also are eligible for airdrop based on your activity, etc. And so an already existing project can start using Telegram and the Tom network, even if their main project isn't even on that chain, to raise awareness. And that is where I think is something like we're seeing a lot of blockchains do, and I'm hoping to see Multiverse X do the same with upcoming projects. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything you want to discuss about it.
Yeah, thank you very much for this very interesting.
Yeah, I have a
Okay,
question,
Philip is not listening
Joaquim.
to
Thanks
me.
for the presentation. It was kind of really nice. I mean, I'm not myself a big user of this different app, and as a builder, I don't even like take a look on how to do that. But did you have time to see if there is some SDK and what are the possibility, and if there is some kind of game, maybe 2D, 3D? I mean, like maybe through Unity. I mean, what are the paths for builders maybe to participate into that and to have a look on to build something on Telegram chain?
So yes, there are SDKs. There's both SDKs for Telegram as general and SDKs for the wallet connections. And yeah, so as I said, it's only a website. So if you have a website that loads Unity, then I want to believe, as long as it has touch functionalities, etc., and is aimed at mobile devices and not a computer, I think it would run perfectly fine on as a mini app. So there's a lot of possibilities, and that's where as often in the early stages of such hypes, we're kind of seeing, personally, that's just my opinion, but like low quality mini apps and I'm hoping to see, as you say, like more thought through 2D, 3D apps coming in the near future.
I'm discovering that in parallel on the side. I mean, it's really impressive what they are doing. I mean,
can someone tell Philip to reconnect?
Philip,
and do you play some game already, like on the daily or something like that?
So Philip, you can't hear DRM, so you're talking at the same time.
Tell him to continue with his question. It's okay. I will wait for my turn. No problem.
Finish your question and try reconnecting, Philip. Okay, we lost Philip. DRM, you take over.
Okay. Yeah. So, are you using a ton dApps? We can say. Did you open your wallet? And because I did a few days ago for two projects I saw on my Twitter feed. It was ducks and cats, I think. It was something like you just need to connect the Telegram group. You need to check your statute on Telegram regarding your history on the app, if you're a premium or not. And and after you can earn more points by filling some quests. So it can be compared to like a Zilli or a Galaxy or a Pulse Harmony as we know here. So it's very intuitive. It's very, 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 very simple to use and very accessible to everyone. This is the UI and the UX are just perfect in such app. So I think it's interesting. And what is interesting to me is the potential of adoption for hundreds of millions of people that are using Telegram every day and that can open a wallet in just a minute. But to be completely honest, I did not really discover how to I don't know, like receive the token and how to swap them. So on which apps we can maybe swap the token? Do you know if there is some decentralized exchange or on the blockchain, or did you dive on it?
So I know that there are. I was looking into it earlier, but I wouldn't be able to give you a name right now. I'm trying to Google at the same time. But yes, there are DeFi solutions directly again as a mini app on Telegram that allows you to trade currencies. And I feel, as you're saying, like this is massive for adoption, but I feel like it's massive for adoption in two ways, in the sense that it's great for Web3 because we get users that start to get familiar with what is a wallet, that you can monetize your time, create content and get rewarded for it, etc. But also for Telegram, because Telegram has kind of had this reputation in the past that like it's used for ordering drugs and nothing else, and web and crypto bros. But honestly, as I see it evolve, I find Telegram to offer so many things that other messenger apps don't, if WhatsApp, etc. And it's getting closer and closer to what we find in China with WeChat, which is a chatting app that expands to sort transactions, internet navigation, etc. So I feel like this becomes a win-win situation, both for the blockchain space and for Telegram, to become maybe the biggest contender to take the first place of, I'm not sure if it's WhatsApp was the first place, but anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Philippe, maybe you have another question. Now you can listen to me.
Yeah, I can listen to you. Do you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was looking on the side on the computer a little what Telegram is doing, because I'm not at all using Telegram like that. I mean, I know that there is some functionalities like people nearby and stuff like that, but I really don't use them at all. But yeah, I'm really impressed by what they provide. That really bring like the adoption on a reach, I would say. But maybe it's not about the subject about gaming and all these things, but if I'm not wrong, they are really centralized as a blockchain. Right now, I cannot be a validator on this chain, no?
You can be a validator on the chain. I haven't checked like the coefficient of Nakamoto on it and how decentralized that is, but I know you can run both validators and observing nodes. But as you say, I don't think it is known to be the most decentralized blockchain.
Yeah, because I see that you can like swap data on between like what is hosted in their servers or either on chain. Okay, no, it's interesting. I mean, and if they go through the gaming door, that means a lot, I guess.
Yeah, and to add one thing with what you said with hosting, is one thing I think that a lot of projects have realized with time is some of us love self-hosting. I'm one of them, but a lot of that creates friction. It makes it very hard, for example, to could be connected on several devices. If you take the example of WhatsApp compared to Telegram, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I had the call. But if you compare Telegram to WhatsApp, connecting on multiple devices on Telegram is much more easier because the encryption is lesser than on WhatsApp, and therefore it facilitates the user experience. And it's a bit the same with self-hosting. everything was hosted on chain through wallets protected by seed phrase, etc., it would mean that if you lose your seed phrase, you lose access to your account, etc.
Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them on the comment section. You can also raise your hand to take the mic directly. From my side, I don't have any more questions, but of course, we'll continue to speak about Ton blockchain in the next GM Web3 edition, since it can be one of the biggest blockchain in the incoming weeks and months in terms of attraction of new users, newcomers, and so I'm really interesting, but what they say, and especially when you got interest into the beginning of the blockchain, that was an initiative that was left down for a few months before they decided to rise it again. So it's very interesting. Thank you very much, Joaquim, for this column. Really interesting. And thank you everybody for joining us this morning for this GM Web3 in English. It's the last one before the new before September, and I can tell you right now that GM Web3 in English will change by September. We will announce in the upcoming days, but things will change on September for many reasons. What I can tell you, it will not be in the morning anymore, because if we really want to reach the English-speaking people on Twitter, we need to be on US time. So the time will change. So it will be easier for us to receive builders and KOL and key actors of the American Twitter crypto space. And other things will be announced very soon, especially about the host of the GM Web3. Stay tuned about that. And for the French speaking people, we will host a new GM Web3 in French on Friday with a new guest, new news, and new discussion about blockchain and NFT. Have a very good day. Take care of yourself. Don't forget, of course, to repost the link of the space to enable people that are not woken up already to listen to it in replay. And Arno, have a very good day. Same for Joachim and Philippe and Maxime and all of you. See you soon.
See you soon, everyone.
Bye, everybody.